to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. 52-year-old hotel manager in Tennessee has been arrested after a male guest staying at the establishment awoke to find the Hilton Hotel employee sucking on his toes. David Patrick Neal was taken into custody on Friday and charged with one count each of aggravated burglary and assault. The incident allegedly took place in the pre-dawn hours of March 30th at the downtown Nashville Hilton Hotel in the 100 block of 4th Avenue South. The guest, who filed a lawsuit in the case alleging SA, told officers with the Nashville Metropolitan Police Department that he was in town on a business trip. He was reportedly asleep inside of his room at about 5 a.m. when he allegedly woke up to find the suspect allegedly sucking on his toes. Upon waking up, he reportedly told police that he immediately confronted the hotel's night manager, whom he recognized. Hill and another hotel employee had allegedly come to his room the previous day because the guest was experiencing problems with his in-room television. In an interview, the guest stated that he was startled to see Neal in his room, that he screamed before reporting the incident to hotel security and calling the police. Upon arrival at the hotel, police reportedly took the guest's statement and spoke to Neal about the alleged incident. Neal reportedly admitted to investigators that he had entered his room without the guest's permission using a cloned room key. However, he told police that he only entered his room because he thought he could smell smoke coming from inside and wanted to ensure that everything was okay. In the arrest report, it noted that Neal did not notify anyone else on the hotel staff about his claims of smelling smoke, and no guest reported smelling smoke. Neal also reportedly told police that after leaving the guest's room, he threw away the cloned key, which was never recovered. In his lawsuit against the hotel, the guest's lawyer reportedly pointed out that Neal has a criminal past, including spending 5 years in prison for manslaughter. Quote, multiple charges of forgery, drinking and driving, a manslaughter conviction as well, which served prison time. When Hilton hired this person, they had to have known. They have to do background checks to know. And the fact that they would put somebody like this in a position where they have the ability to clone keys, have the ability to get into a guest room, it's just shocking. We haven't seen a case like this. Neal was indicted in Wilson County in 1996 on one count of second-degree murder for aiming at his roommate. Though he claimed it was self-defense, a jury found in 1997 him guilty on one count of voluntary manslaughter. In a statement, the hotel said that it is cooperating with police and does not comment on ongoing investigations. Neal was taken into custody on Friday and held in lieu of a $27,000 bond. I'm just trying to figure out and encompass the whole totality of this incident. It's quite ridiculous how it is that these jobs out here, and this is not just to talk about this instance, but I'm going to use this to broaden this to give a further warning to women directly out there. This is the main reason why it is that if you happen to go out and you take trips or you stay in hotels, business trips, whatever it is, even out with family, this is why you need to look into certain types of protections when it deals with you being in in a sense like somebody else's home for a better word. I can't think of the terminology at this moment in time, but you get what it is that I'm stating, right? You're in somebody else's business and you're staying there, and you don't clearly have a way to make sure that somebody that is up to no good won't be able to have access specifically to your room. right? And moreover, dealing with people who specifically work there. Now, this is not my first time covering a story like this. I've covered a story like this before, and I've specifically tried to tell women out there, hey, you need to be very cautious because you have these hotel workers who are working in cahoots with other individuals, allowing them copies of keys. Now, as you clearly heard, he cloned a key, he cloned a room key in order to gain access into this man's room. So, again, to the women out there, if he was able, this is a hotel worker, this is a person that they hired. These jobs have to do background checks. So they knew everything about this guy, right? To try to put this to a whole nother extent, they did a background check, which means they know his background, which means they know that he served time, but yet they still hired him. So the main thing that should have taken place is to see if he has any types of links in the hotel industry, or more so specifically at that hotel. Because if he does, then it means that there's an even deeper problem and a deeper issue. That also means that there are more than likely other workers who have been convicted, who have served time, that are working there that realistically should not be working there. But going back to the main point, right? He has a record. They know that he has a record, but yet he was able to work in a position which allowed him access to have the ability to clone keys to get into somebody else's room. Just think if that was a woman. Just think if that was somebody's daughter. Think about if that was somebody's aunt, if that was somebody's grandmother. He easily did this to a man without being any type of frightened, any type of scared, anything like that. He easily did that. Easily did that. No fear in that man's heart. As if he's done this numerous times. This is obviously an example of one of those people who should be locked up for psychological evaluation and never released. But yet, they allow him on the streets. They allow him around the public, around the community. They allow him around family and children. And this is what ends up happening. This is what ends up happening. And again, all I'm simply trying to do is give a warning out there to a lot of individuals. Because this story was more so specifically about a man who this ended up happening to, right? And that's bad. But very easily, this could have been a worse off situation if this was somebody's daughter, if this was a female elder in somebody's family. This is why I've done live streams and I've done videos informing and telling women, hey, your right to carry. Hey, learn self-defense. Hey, they have some, different items that you can use in order to defend yourself just in case you may end up in an instance like this or something else out there in public. This is why I do those videos. This is why I bring forth those examples. So in hopes that a woman out there doesn't have to go through this, right? To at least give a warning. Or if you do have to go through something like this, which I am not hoping that you do, that if a time comes where you need to defend yourself, you're able to defend yourself. Like I said, I'm not trying to do a story. I'm really not even trying to hear of a story where there's another instance like this and it was worse. I'm really not. Nor do I really want to even report on those stories. I really don't. So, again, to everybody out there, as I've, commonly stated before, please, just be safe. Um, pay attention to where you are, pay attention to your surroundings, and Be aware. Because if you're not aware, if you're not concerned, if you're not watching out for you, somebody else is. And I promise you that somebody else is doing it for their own selfish gain.